So my name is Fatima Vahlsing. I just started recently as the VP of Climate at the Ocean Conservancy, about 2 months in, and very excited to be here. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Ocean Conservancy and how we look at ocean climate solutions and decide whether we're going to endorse them. So Ocean Conservancy generally covers 3 issue areas: ending plastic pollution, reducing climate change, and protecting biodiversity. So we like to think about this from the climate perspective as flipping the switch. Often most organizations look at the ocean as a victim of climate change, but we look at it as an opportunity to identify solutions. So that's our macro approach to climate change. To do this, we focus on what ocean climate solutions are really evidence-based and scientifically driven. So we're filling a very unique niche as a conservation organization that's mostly focused on reduction and removal of carbon. So I'd like to draw your attention to this slide. I'm realizing it's a little bit small here, but one of our favorite statistics is that about 35% of the reductions that we need to reach our 1.5 degrees in 2050 is from ocean climate solutions. So that's a big deal, right? What you don't see on this chart is up to 9 gigatons can come from CDR and MCDR. So that would completely blow out of the water. I'll try not to use too many ocean puns. The other technologies that you see on this chart, which is why we're taking MCDR incredibly seriously when we decide whether to evaluate, whether to endorse this technology. So you'll see here, essentially what Antonius asked us to speak about when we came here today was to kind of lift up the hood and share with 100 of our closest friends how we evaluate whether we're going to endorse the technology. So what you can see here is some of the considerations that we take into account when we decide whether or not we're going to endorse a technology, whether it's effective and scalable, whether there can actually achieve reductions, whether the mitigation potential actually outweighs the environmental impact, which is incredibly important as a conservation organization. If there's the ability to engage with the community meaningfully and the impacts that, particularly the communities where this technology would impact the most, and then, of course, whether or not we as an organization can have a value add and a meaningful discussion and discourse with others and other stakeholders to advance this technology. So this is something, please no pictures of this, because again, this is like, we're really talking amongst friends here and sharing how we do evaluate different technologies. So if you look at this slide, just to compare the green area and the red. So this is where we compare here how we really consider whether to endorse tidal or, for example, salinity. So we ran a process within our organization. We looked at whether tidal was scalable, salinity was scalable, whether tidal identified, the mitigation options outweighed the benefits. Similarly, like I said, the community process, and whether there was a potential for impact. So just as a start comparison, you can see here that we decided to endorse tidal energy, but not salinity as a topic. So within OAE right now, we're trying to decide how to fill in these yellow boxes. It's incredibly important to us that we determine whether or not we can scale OAE in a way that's responsibly, environmentally, and socially. But we know more data is needed. The good thing is we know that we can have a value add to this process. We've done a lot of work on MCDR already. So that green box is the potential for OC to have a policy impact. And just to go a little bit more in detail in terms of the actual factors that would determine our endorsement, and happy to go into this more into the Q&A, here's just a few. So one, incredibly important, is a code of conduct that's broadly implementable across sectors, that engages everyone who is going to be impacted, most importantly, developed with the people that will use it, so with industry, and drafted that in a way that can been taken up domestically and internationally. Second, that it's scalable and actually addresses the environmental impact. So extensive MMRV, some of my colleagues have talked about MMRV already, that is scientifically rigorous in terms of long-term sequestration. And then lastly, again, as one of my colleagues talked about, the importance of community engagement and really making sure that all sectors are involved in the decision-making process. So this is trying to be short here today and get us to the Q&A, but just wanted to show how we, again, just amongst friends, under the hood to try to evaluate and really decide whether we're going to endorse this technology. But most of all, we are really taking this seriously and really excited to work with both my colleagues on the panel and others in this room to determine whether we can scale MCDR in a way that's environmentally and socially responsible.